Well, the death of Manuel Ellis could change police policy here in Washington state. Thanks for joining us for King 5 News at 5 o'clock. I'm Joyce Taylor. The Tacoma man died while being arrested in 2020. 3 Tacoma police officers were acquitted in Ellis's death. Our Olympia Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson has learned that one of the tactics officers used on Ellis could be outlawed as a result. Drew.
Well, Joyce, we're talking about hog-tying. It's a police tactic that the police officially call the 4-point hobble restraint. The city of Tacoma outlawed it for its officers after the death of Manuel Ellis in 2020. And now Ellis's family is here at the Capitol trying to get a statewide ban enacted. We do want to warn viewers, some of the video in this story may be disturbing. It was March of 2020 when Manuel Ellis died while being arrested by Tacoma police officers. The officers said Ellis would not stop resisting arrest and said they had to repeatedly tase and eventually hog-tie Ellis.
Stop resisting! I'm not resisting!
This police body cam video from Sterling, Colorado shows the same tactic being applied to a domestic violence suspect. Hog-tying, by definition, is the binding of someone's restrained ankles with their restrained wrists behind their back.
It's inhumane for animals, so it should be inhumane to humans as well.
Manuel Ellis' sister, Monet Carter Mixon, testified in favor of a bill banning the procedure before a Senate committee in January.
This isn't something new. This isn't something that the state should be behind on. This should be immediately put into practice because it's going to save lives.
I have had to live with the shame of watching a person get hog-tied. And it's just a shame that you just have to live with, and it's hard to get over it.
Senator John Lovick, a former Snohomish County sheriff who served 30 years in the Washington State Patrol, was part of the unanimous vote to pass the bill out of the Senate.
I think this is the unifying thing that we can all agree on.
At its first hearing in the House, Senator Yasmin Trudeau testified the Ellis incident prompted her to propose the ban.
I think it's important that we all remember and understand what it would mean for us if a family member that committed no crime, that was found to have committed no wrongdoing, spent the final moments of their life hog-tied and pleading for breath.
But the lobbyist for police chiefs and sheriffs says if the state takes away the tool, something would need to replace it.
We ask that the legislature not prohibit the use of this tactic necessary to prevent a person from harming themselves or our officers, at least without providing us with a viable alternative.
Like the BOLA wrap, a different way to restrain someone, but the Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs says the devices are costly and in some cases require backup officers. The bill's sponsor says she is willing to work with law enforcement on coming up with alternate methods. She also told us she is not worried about this bill failing. She says it will pass this session. Joyce?
So, Drew, we learned some of the initiatives signed by voters could have public hearings. How soon are we talking about for those?
Well, it'll have to happen in the next 3 weeks or so, and this was a little bit of a surprise announcement today. So there are 6 initiatives that backed by some conservative groups, but they have all qualified for the November ballot. The legislature can take up those issues, and today we found out that 2 of them will not come up for debate. That would ban the capital gains tax and also eliminate the existing climate law. But there are 4 other initiatives, and today the leaders of the House and Senate told us that they expect to have hearings on some of those issues, and they include perhaps rolling back police chase restrictions and also eliminating the long-term insurance. It would be an opt-in program as opposed to mandatory. So some of those issues could get debated here in the final weeks of this session.
We'll keep watching. I know you'll keep following it. Drew Mickelson reporting from the Capitol.